Siesta Sound Live. Siesta Sound Live is broadcast from Captain Kurt's Village. It's Siesta Key's home to great food, great drinks, great music, and great times. Look for the giant American flag.
Welcome to Siesta Sand Live. I'm your host, Natalie Gutwine, and we have an amazing lineup for you today. Have you ever heard of the Siesta Key Association? Wonder who they are, what they do? Well, we've got the president and the vice president, Bob and Catherine Luckner, on today. We also have Eric Fleming. He's the chair of the Siesta Key Chamber. He's going to come on and talk to us about December on the Key, what it looks like, what you can expect, events you can go to, when Santa Claus is going to be here. I know that's big at my house. And also we have Dave Skaggs. Dave is a fellow Hoosier who walks the beach, picks up trash, and turns it into treasure. So I'm excited to see what all of our guests have to say. So stay tuned.
The next segment is brought to you by the Judy Berger Team, part of Sotheby's International Realty. Whether a buyer or a seller, you'll be delighted with their service. And by Altez Vacations. It's the perfect place to go to find that perfect place to rent.
Hello, and welcome to Siesta Sand Live. We are here today with Bob and Catherine Luckner. A lot of people have heard about the Siesta Key Association. Catherine's the president, Bob is the vice president. Did I get that correct?
Actually, treasurer.
Treasurer, sorry. I am also on the board of the Siesta Key Association. Bob and Catherine do pretty much everything. They do a lot, so it's kind of hard to keep track of everybody's titles. But they've been around for a long time. Can you talk about the history of the Siesta Key Association and what it does?
We do about everything. Now that I think of it, the early days were really pragmatic. You know, water, electricity, roads.
Right, getting all that
grocery
started on
store,
Siesta Key.
A doctor. I mean, things that were basic. We were part of that advocacy. And since 1948, people drove to Tallahassee and incorporated us.
Oh.
So that's the beginning. And I didn't arrive here to live here until 1989, and discovered that I actually had family history here. The house,
Oh, wow.
The house, in fact, we live on was part of a land grant. I didn't know that until I got the whole list. When you buy something, it tells
Oh,
you,
right, the title.
Yeah,
right,
the
yeah.
title track, you would know, yeah. And that's when I learned, because I asked my mother, I said, does this name sound familiar to you? And she said, oh, yeah.
Wow.
Nobody ever mentioned
Well,
that.
you born and raised in Florida.
Not really.
Well, raised in Florida.
Raised in Florida a good bit. I'm an Army child.
Oh.
And people that know that know
Right, they moved around, but Florida was home.
this is definitely home. Both my parents and my grandparents, yes.
Oh, wow. You don't hear that a lot. A lot of us are transplants.
Well, that's okay.
Right.
That's a good thing.
So the Siesta Key Association, we're sort of, I would call us the watchdog somewhat on the island, always keeping up with what's going on. If there's something, the county commissioners talk to the Siesta Key Association. There's always a lot going on out there. What does the Siesta Key Association have on our radar right now?
Well, as you know, we've been very concerned about the development process. Over the years, we've really worked to environmentally develop well, because we know that the reasons people were coming here was because the environment was good.
Right,
And
the
it was
beautiful landscape.
Absolutely, and so we don't want to lose that. And so most of the recent days have been on managing basically the background, the policies, the rules, legislative issues related to what's allowed for development on barrier islands. And that's what we've been doing. And some of our work is not as public at first, because we have people we consult with that are attorneys who are much more adept at that. And Bob can probably tell you more about that, because he's been working on this very well. And that's important to know how things work before you get busy.
Right. Bob, do you want to touch on that, the inner workings part?
Yeah, I guess so. A lot of the things we do as a civic organization are make sure the county is properly enforcing its comprehensive plan, which is the constitution of the county of what it should and shouldn't do, and also its zoning code. So there's a lot of people who want to do things, and there's a lot of things that aren't necessarily in the civic good. So we spent a fair amount of time working with the county to make sure that the hotels that were proposed for Siesta Key
Right.
were consistent with what the lifestyle is here. And the same thing we just got through with a proposal to rebuild condos that were starting to reach end of life and had been built before the regulations allowed them to limit the number of places they had. So you won't see any new high-rise condos built on the Key, but there are a lot of people who would like to rebuild those and have the same number of above compliant density, number of units. So we've done a fair amount of work on that. It just tried to put one through that was for a 42-room condo that should have only had 23. And so we worked with them, and amazingly, the Planning Commission gave a unanimous 9-0 no, and then it went to the Board of County Commissioners, and they voted 5-0 no.
That's great.
Yeah, I guess so. Catherine, about 10 years ago, worked on what was called the post-development redevelopment plan, and they wanted to make sure that people who had condos that were destroyed by a hurricane had a chance to rebuild what they had, just at the same footprint. So that got passed, and unfortunately, I guess some people might exercise that right now. It's unfortunate they have to, but at least they'll be able to rebuild what they have.
Right.
But the other thing we were fighting against was people voluntarily rebuilding without a demonstrated engineering need to rebuild because of, to avoid things like happened on the East Coast of Florida. So we'll do that. We do a fair amount of work also on things like variances to the zoning code that keeps people from building too close to the beach,
Right.
the Gulf Coast setback line. So like next Tuesday, there's a hearing on somebody who wants to build a 3-story condo.
Is that next to Beach Access 10? Is that the one you're
is,
referring
yeah.
to?
Yeah, they want to turn the walking path that's Beach Access 10 into a driveway.
They want to take it over personally for themselves?
Well, I don't know. They want to give them
An easement?
an easement, yeah. And the county has an easement, and I guess if you ask some prior landowners, they would say the county doesn't have the right to give away Gulf view easements. And so it'll be interesting to see how they go on this.
Right. And that are they voting on that this Tuesday or
Yeah.
recently? Yeah.
This coming Tuesday.
Okay.
The 19th, I guess. So, yeah, there's always something to watch, and it'll be interesting to see because that'll be the first meeting of the new commissioners.
Right. So we've got Tom Knight coming in.
And Ms. Mast.
Right. So hopefully there's no more supermajority. They won't be able to change our comprehensive plan. Hope that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's what would be my thought. And I think that's a pretty big hurdle now for the mega hotels. They're going to have to rethink.
Were you at all surprised that the mega hotels didn't come in before the changing of the guard and try to maneuver something when it came to the hotels before the new commissioners came on?
I was. I thought that they would try to rush it through, but it's a pretty long process. It's 2 commission meetings as well as a state review. So by the time the summer rolled around, there wasn't enough time left. I know a lot of people thought there was, but the wheels of government move pretty slow sometimes,
Right,
even when there's a big push.
right.
So,
Always have to be ready. And that means that we have to do all that research on what are the state regulations, what are the rules about barrier islands. And many times you find things that are in the smallest print possible.
You and Bob have become experts on this. You both retired. Bob, you were a chemical engineer, is that correct? All right. And Catherine, you were in healthcare, is that correct?
I'm a psychotherapist. I'm still licensed, and yes, I've been working since, not working now, I'm retired now. But I did retire from Sarasota Memorial Hospital in a private practice, and now I can be a public person.
Right. Well, what you both spend far more than 40 hours a week working on this. It's a full time, but it is totally voluntary. It's not a paid position at all. You do this because you love where we live, and you both spend a lot of time. Thank you both for all the time and energy.
I mean, well,
People are going to look back on this and realize, wow, the Luckners really had a footprint here on Siesta Key and protecting and keeping what we are. I know we fought so many different things. When I first came on the board, the sand at Big Pass was an issue.
yep.
And it's a hard fight. And it's, as a new board member for me, learning all of these things. And, then, I noticed it when I got to vote. And, you start voting in the people that make a difference to answer these questions and solve these problems. And wait, how are they going to vote on this? And making sure that the people I knew that were voting the right way. And it's hyper local, sort of like our podcast, very hyper local, all about Siesta Key. Bob, I know you do a lot of work with the shorebirds and protecting them. Is there anything you want to mention about that?
I guess they've been moving. Birds have wings, they move, and they found it not attractive to nest on Siesta Key anymore. They've moved up the shoreline, and they're mostly on Lido and Longboat and some of the islands up in Tampa Bay. I guess it just got too crowded on Siesta Key, and it's unfortunate, but
Right.
they move, maybe they'll come back. So, but we do spend a lot of time worrying about those, and they get predated on by other birds, by cats, by bobcats, coyotes.
Right,
You
and-
name it, there are things after them, and they don't have a lot of defenses other than to distract people or to hide with camouflage.
I saw a bald eagle at, I live on Midnight Pass, and there was one in the tree right across the street from my house yesterday. It's big and beautiful and just looks like it belongs there.
It's a beautiful area here for them, and when we think about, just so you know, the shorebirds, we're not just talking about the pelicans or the things that you see all the time, or the seagulls. There's species of protected Florida seabirds, and they only nest on open beach, and a lot of people don't know that, and they only do it once a year.
Oh,
So
we hear a lot about turtles.
Yes,
You're right. Some
yeah.
things get kind of more the spotlight. They're cute. They do things.
Right.
I mean, the birds are beautiful, but they don't command the attention that the turtles have.
no, and sometimes people have not been happy with us when we said, you can't use this access path because we have a nest right here. I pay my taxes, I'm walking down this path. We have fights with people too. It's hard to believe sometimes, but it's happening.
Verbal
Pardon?
fights.
Oh, right. Yes, verbal, right.
We don't duke it out, not at all. But it is interesting, the education process, and now the state has a really active protected species program, and it really started with a lot of the things we were doing here, maybe 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that about right? And
How long have you both been on the board of the Siesta Key Association?
10 years for me.
I've been on since 2011,
Wow.
and I was drafted. Just standing in the middle of a street looking at the oaks. No kidding.
Oh, really?
I was just standing there, and someone came along and said, hey, you want to go to a tree advisory committee? I said, I don't know what that is, but I'd go, sure. And the next thing I knew, I was on that board. And this was just one of the many things they were doing. We became a canopy road on the back where we live now. So
Oh, that's how
yeah,
that
was one of,
started.
that was one of the projects, yes. So that's where it came from. That's how I got here.
Wow.
Yeah, drafted.
Right.
Just wait, Natalie.
Well, if you remember when I walked up to you one day and said, hey, I'd be happy to help out. And the next thing I knew, I was on the board.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Be careful what you ask for.
Right. Yes.
We need good people. Always need good
Right. And we do need some new board members.
Yes.
So if anybody out there is interested in becoming a board member, reach out to our website. Reach out to either of you two. Anything you want to say about that?
We need to live on the island or own property on the island. And we need people who have a multitude of skills, working on boards,
Right.
doing financial planning, doing membership drives, stuff like that. So it's not a lot of work, but it can be as much work as you want.
Right. Yeah, the board members currently have such varied backgrounds, and it contributes so well to who we've become as an association. And we have an attorney, and you as an engineer, and Catherine keeps us all sane because of her background.
Now, I think on a board like that, like any team, diversity really helps a lot. You get different perspectives, and that's what's important.
Right.
And every age. I mean, every age.
Right.
It's just from very, young, like
I
Natalie.
love it when you call me young.
Absolutely. I think at one point in time, we had someone who retired when he was probably 92, and he is the best attorney still. Bob meets up with him for breakfast with a bunch of other guys, one judge, one attorney, and this fellow was wonderful. And he just decided he had to retire from it because he was going to be doing more fun things.
Oh, wow.
So I
Well,
just want you to know that. All ages. All ages. Yep.
and we meet the first Thursday of every month. Are we still going to, can you update us on the meeting place?
This last meeting was canceled, as you already know, and we're going to be having a meeting, as far as I know, in December the 5th. I have to verify that the church will be storm hardened by then. Our church had very bad troubles. And so we won't get to be there unless they tell us the rooms are good. We'll let you know. Look for the website, look for the
Right.
messenger, anything to let you know that we're still on. We'll have it on Facebook. You can always look at our Facebook page as well. I try to keep that up as much as possible, too.
Yes, there is a lot of great information on the Facebook page and on our website. And that is, our website is ska.org, correct?
It actually is just www.Siesta Key Association.
Oh.
And then the Facebook page is just plain Siesta Key Association. So
Makes it
log
simple.
in, and I'm doing the best I can to network with many other Facebook groups that are on the Key and off the Key, especially if they're doing similar work,
Oh, that's a great idea.
which is great. Yeah, we've made some friends. Actually, even the people we had to fight sometimes have become our friends, even up at the state level. So now we know we have people we can call if we really need to. So
That's great.
that's been a great thing to learn.
Yeah, it's always interesting. For 35 years, I worked for an oil company, and we did permitting. And so I learned a lot of tricks on how people on the other side, let's say, would fight you in permit hearings. So after that, like on Big Pass, we use some of the same strategies. And you don't always win, but the compromise is what you're looking for.
Right.
And so Siesta Key is, I think, protected well now on Big Pass, and we'll be interested to see what happens on Midnight Pass now.
Right. There is so much happening around the Key. There's always something to watch. The Midnight Pass opening. The one good thing that came out of the hurricanes was opening that pass.
Yes.
The water, hopefully the water quality will get a lot better in the bay now.
Right. That was a miracle.
Right.
It was a miraculous byproduct. And I all of us for years, we have stories of people trying to carve that place open. And literally, several of our past commissioners were part of the bucket parade.
Oh, really?
I won't say who, but you probably could guess if you knew some of our past commissioners. But it's there. and we hope everybody will enjoy it and keep it beautiful, just like it is.
Well, Bob and Catherine, thank you for your tireless efforts. Literally, you both answer the phone no matter what time I call. And I know you do that for everybody that calls. You always work so hard to keep Siesta Key exactly what it is. With some, we do want improvements. We want to keep it a great place. And I know you both work really hard for that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for having us do this today.
You're welcome.
The following segment is brought to you by Beach Bazaar, located in the heart of Siesta Village. Everything for the beach, and we do mean everything. And by FAM Development, the area's best in custom-built homes. Start living your dream on and around Siesta Key.
Welcome back. I am here with Eric Fleming.
Hi.
Hi. Eric is, you're an attorney by practice.
Yes.
But you're also the chair of the Siesta Key Chamber.
I am.
A lot going on with the chamber. You want to talk a little bit about the events coming up?
Sure, yeah. We've got a lot of exciting events coming up. We just finished up Crystal Classic, smashing success. So we're very excited for that. And now we're kicking off the holiday season. So we've got on November 30th, we've got Santa coming to the new chamber office, which is on Avenida Navarra. He'll be there from 2 to 4, and then he's got to get ready for the parade.
Right.
And that parade starts at 5:30, and it'll be through the village again like it is every year. And we're looking forward to having a lot of people come out, a lot of people participate. If anybody wants to register, registration is open until November the 22nd.
Is that on the chamber's website
It
to
is, yep.
register? I love that parade. It's one of the things I love about being a Siesta Key resident is there's so many local things you can do.
Yep.
And I love to go sit at Gilligan's or one of the bars over there,
Yep.
restaurants, bars,
Sure.
sit there and watch the parade go by. They've got great hot chocolate usually, and just sit there. And it's big. There are a lot of people. It's usually about an hour, I think, before it takes everybody gets through.
Yep, Santa finishes it off at the end, and the streets are packed. It's so much fun. It's just a really good time, a really great tradition that we do. The one change up is Santa is not going to be after the parade. He'll be at the end of the parade, but to meet and greet Santa, it'll be before the parade.
Oh, that is a big change.
That's a big
Okay,
change that people need to know about, and that's the 2 to 4 at the new chamber office.
Okay. Yeah, I do know a lot of people like to bring their kids out. They love to see Santa in sand. That's always, I love, one of my favorite things about living here is Christmas lights and the palm trees.
Yes.
Or Santa in the boat at the parade.
Yep.
There's Christmas in Siesta, Christmas in Florida is a lot different than anywhere else.
It's like a Corona commercial.
Right. We live a Corona commercial.
Yep,
It's
we
a good
certainly do.
existence. So what else? Santa will be down here on the south end as well, correct?
Yep. A few weeks later, we'll have Santa here at Daiquiri Deck on the south end. So another chance for the kids to come out and tell Santa what they want for Christmas, and another fun community event. And then we've got our annual awards dinner. That'll be on January the 30th
Okay.
at the Sarasota Arts Museum.
Oh, okay. So a little different location this year.
New venue. We're excited. It should be a really, really great evening. It usually is a lot of fun for everybody. We've got our awards that night, and nominations are open.
What are some of the, so people can go online and they can nominate someone.
Yep.
What are some of the categories?
So we've got Small Business of the Year, you've got Large Business of the Year, Business Owner of the Year, or Business Person of the Year. We've got opportunities to nominate employees, key employees, different volunteers. One of my favorites is the Siesta Selfless Award.
Oh.
And we give that out to a person, a business owner that goes above and beyond the call of community service, that really steps up to enhance Siesta Key or the businesses on Siesta Key or the community in general.
Well, that'll be a hard one this year with
Yeah,
all the
well-
hurricanes and everything. I know the chamber did an amazing job of working with the county to get the sand, get the beach cleaned up. I know you felt it was very important to get the Crystal Classic.
Yeah, we did. It's such a big event for the community. And we struggled a bit in the beginning to figure out if we could put it on. The county stepped in and said, we've got your back. We will support you. We will make it happen. If you guys are good to go, we'll be good to go. So we really appreciate that that relationship that we have with the
Right.
county.
Well, when
They've
that
been-
when that email came out, we were all waiting on pins and needles.
Yeah.
Because the island still was full of trash
Yep.
when that email came out. So I don't think people that aren't living here, they don't really understand the gravity of what we're going through.
Yep.
So to make that decision, that was a big step. And knowing that the county was going to work with the chamber and pull it off.
Yeah, it was a leap of faith for sure. We thought it was really important for the residents, for the community, for the business community to be able to say, "Hey, we're open." You know, we got hit in the face with 2 back-to-back hurricanes. It was a mess out here. The county's done an amazing job. The residents, the business community has done an amazing job to get back on their feet. And so we felt as the chamber, we owed it to the community to let everybody know we're open for business.
Right.
We're back. We're resilient. You know, Siesta strong.
Right, that is a thing. Siesta Strong. You know, one of the things I noticed was so many, a bartender from one bar, and I would see them working at another bar, at another restaurant, helping clean up. Everybody stepped in, and now pretty much everybody is open.
Yeah. Almost everybody's open. The vacation rentals are opening up very quickly as well, and we needed that for the
Right.
key. You know, we couldn't just sit around and wait. We had to get open for business. We're coming in on season,
Right.
so there was no time to waste. And
No.
we felt like Crystal Classic kicking it off with a big "We're Open" party was just the right thing to do for the business community, and we were excited that we were able to pull it off, and really couldn't have done it without the help of the county, the administrators, the county commissioners. Everybody stepped in and supported us, and then the boots on the ground were amazing and nonstop for weeks and weeks.
Right. It still continues.
Yep.
I mean, I know there's some little things. There's there's still some dust on the roads,
Yep.
but it's sand, so they're going to have to go through several times with the street cleaning up.
Yep.
Is there anything planned for the village? Anything that the chamber's working on down there?
For the North Village, there's still cleanup. There's replanting that needs to be done. We're looking at doing a pretty deep clean, and some initial conversations are being had about revitalizing,
What that's going to look
freshening
like?
it up, and so it's early stages, but it's in the works, and we really want, Siesta Key is the crown jewel of
Right.
Sarasota County.
Right.
People come to Sarasota County for Siesta Key, #1 beach on the planet. So when they get here, we need to reflect that in our businesses, in our streets, just
Right.
how we hold ourselves out. We need to be reflective of what we advertise.
Right. Well, there's a lot of money
Yes.
here on the key that we bring in.
Right.
So yeah, we do need a lot of that money to clean us back up and get us back to 100%.
Correct. Yeah, we're an economic driver for the entire county, for the state of Florida even. So we need to be open back up. We are. We just need to spread that message and look the part.
Right. Well, thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
I
thank you for
really
having me.
appreciate it. I know it's been a really crazy month.
Yes.
An incredible time to be the chair of the Siesta Key Chamber.
Yeah, not a dull moment, that's for sure. But it's great to do. It's an honor to do, and my board is some of the most brilliant business minds that we've got, and it's a pleasure to serve alongside them. So
Now, again, you are an attorney
I am.
here on Siesta Key. How can somebody find your business?
So we are located right next to the Salty Dog, that 3-story office complex, the Siesta Key Professional Center. We're on the 3rd floor. Our website is srqesq.com.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so a little homage to.
And you're a
SRQ.
real estate attorney.
I do real estate, I do corporate law, and I do estate planning.
Okay.
Main focus is real estate. A lot of the other work comes from the real estate transactions. So we'll help commercial, residential. We do a lot of work on the Key. Love to see the houses and the new residents moving in from wherever. And
Right. It's
getting
going to
to
be
know
an
them.
interesting season, I think,
Yes,
from
yes.
my business as well as a real estate agent.
Yep.
And so I think it's going to be busy. I
Yeah.
think we're going to see a lot
Yep.
coming and going, and I'm excited for it.
yeah, it's always something new. That's what I look at in real estate. It's not the same thing over and over again.
Right.
It's new, it's different. It's got its own challenges, but
Right.
that's why we do what we do, is to figure out those challenges and help people out.
That's right. And I think it's really important to work with people that know what they're doing. And you live here on Siesta Key. That gives you a different perspective when you're closing a house here on Siesta. You know what to look out for.
Right. Yeah. And whether it's somebody buying a vacation home, property for their primary residence, or an investment property, those are all different discussions.
Right. I agree. Well, Eric, thanks for coming on, and I'm sure we will have you back.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
I'll see you at the parade.
All right. See you then.
The final segment is brought to you by the law offices of Eric Fleming, specializing in real estate closings. Mr. Fleming is also the current president of the Siesta Key Chamber of Commerce. And by Gilligan's Island Bar and Grill. Experience the heartbeat of the Siesta Village's dining and social scene.
Hello, welcome back. I am here with Dave Skaggs, a former Hoosier yourself. You're from Indiana originally, is that correct?
That is correct. Jeffersonville, Indiana.
That's awesome. We love our Hoosiers around here. So, Dave, you've got a very interesting business. You go around, you collect trash, and you turn it into art. Is that
Correct.
the
I'm a Siesta Key lover, and I collect most of my trash off of Siesta Key. I actually have people that come and collect too, and I get their presents from, they put them in the back of my truck, and I make different kinds of art out of trash.
Oh, really? So we've got a couple pieces of art behind us. What is your favorite thing to work with trash that you pick up?
Well, it depends on the trash I get. It's kind of what I make. I've made things from bottle caps to different shells off the beach, but all kinds of different trash. I have a fish that 1 year from one of their cleanups that the county did, I took all the cigarette butts and made a fish out of all the cigarette butts.
Really? So how did you get started in this? How did you realize that you were the trash to treasure guy?
I had a heart attack. I was trying to figure out why God kept me on this earth, and I don't know, I saw things in a different way.
So how long have you been doing this?
About 12 years, really doing the trash, collecting trash. My house looks like a zoo.
I bet. At least you have an excuse for why your house looks like a zoo. I don't, but
Well, I would
Kids.
like for you to say that to my wife.
So is Siesta Key Beach, is that your favorite beach to go to?
Yeah, that's the one that I collect most of my stuff. Like back when they had the really bad red tide, I made a red tide raptor out of all the bones that I collected off the beach and nourished and did different things to it so I could make a big animal. So I have the red tide raptor.
So where do you, if someone is trying to find your treasures, where can they, do you have a website? Do you
Yes.
sell somewhere?
Yeah, Dave's World Art. You can go check it out. It has all my pieces on it. You can get a hold of me through the website. You can come see it at my gallery, which is at my home. And I have a lot of fun, crazy pieces that nobody's ever seen before.
So what's of everything you've ever put together, what is your favorite piece? Do you have a favorite? Let's start there.
Yes, I definitely do. When Snooty passed away, I made a life-size Snooty.
Who is Snooty?
Snooty is the manatee that used to be over at Florida Aquarium, I think.
Oh.
And about maybe 15 years ago, it passed away. And I wanted to do something in remembrance. And it took me about a year. And then a buddy of mine that's a painter, I'm a sculptor, came in, and it took him about 8 months. And he painted on the surfboard. And Snooty's kind of, what it used to do is pull itself out of the pool to give everybody kisses. So I have a surfboard that's from the lifeguards that Snooty's pulling himself up over the surfboard to give everybody kisses. That would be my favorite piece. It's big too, life size.
So you mentioned before you have a bird that you put on your shoulder. It's not an actual bird, correct?
Correct. I have a UCAN that I put on my shoulder. It's balanced, and it looks just like the bird, and it's named Smiles. And I walk down the beach, and the people can't figure out whether it's real or not real because it bounces around on my shoulder, and it makes everybody smile. And that's what my art's about. It's about, when you see it, it puts a smile on your face.
Now I'm going to say that this is the heart of a Hoosier. That's where you got all this.
Well, I definitely have the Hoosier slang, for sure.
Right.
And that never goes away.
No, it does not. So how long have you lived in Sarasota County?
About 25 years. It's the most beautiful place in the world.
So what did you do before this?
Well, I always enjoyed the beach, but until God talked to me after my heart attack, I used to be more of an athlete, and then my body decided that athletics is no longer, that easy anymore. So the art kind of fulfilled actually some holes that I used to be so competitive that it was sometimes kind of ugly. But the art lets you be so competitive, but in a beautiful way. So that's one good change.
Oh, that's great. I'm sure your wife is happy to have this side of you.
Yes, I hope.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for coming on. We'll love to
Hey, I
see your
wanted-
pieces.
I do want to give a shout out to the county. They've done such a marvelous job getting this place cleaned up, having it ready for the Crystal Sands Classic. We have all these great artists here doing great things, and they have been really working hard. I think they brought every county person out here on Siesta to help get things ready. And the people need to come back. They need to come support all the restaurants and everything down here on all the keys. Every day something else new or something that's been closed opens. So come on back.
I agree 100%. That's, I know when the hurricanes first happened, the county and the state, everybody says, don't come out to the Keys, let us get cleaned up. Well, we're good. We're past that. I saw Village Cafe. They opened up recently. We're almost 100% open out here, so you're right. Come on out.
They need to come back and spend their money and help these people get all the way back. They're still kind of busted up down here, but they're working hard to every day to get better and better.
Well, thank you very much, Dave. I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you.
Siesta Sand Live is broadcast from Captain Kurt's Village. It's Siesta Key's home to great food, great drinks, great music, and great times. Look for the giant American flag.
Thank you for tuning in for another exciting episode of Siesta Sand Live. We hope you learned a lot about the Siesta Key Association and their tireless contribution to the island and maintaining Siesta Key as we all know it and love it. Now, you might want to tune in next week. We have a huge guest on. Dave Ballett, the gentleman that owns the Lock, used to be the Wells Fargo building, who has applied for a hotel, has big moves. So stay tuned and stay sunny, Siesta.